Okay. Hi, my name's Leilani Stowe. Nice to meet you.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Chapman. It's nice to meet you too.
Okay, well, thank you for coming in for your interview. Let's get started. Why are you applying for this job and what made you interested?
I decided to apply to this job because I have a real passion for large animals, and I also have passion for veterinary. I would really like to eventually go to vet school, and so I figured that this would be a really good starting position to put my foot in the door and make my way towards that eventual end goal.
Okay, sounds perfect. What have you done to prepare for this job? What skills or attributes qualify you?
So I actually have a lot of previous experience with large animal, both horses and equine. I, for one, work pretty much every weekend, 2 to 3 hours for the last 2 years with Dr. Walter Cook. He's actually a professor here at A&M. We go every week, check on his cows, doing castrations, vaccinations, health checks, and such, and as well as I also have my own horses and provide much of the veterinary care with Dr. Cook's help, including floating their teeth, giving them their vaccinations, Coggins, helping out when things go wrong. We've had a couple of emergencies with them, and so I was able to give him some hands-on assistance with that. And I believe that, gives me a lot of really good experience and qualities that are very helpful for this job. And also I have worked a previous job at a vet, so I do understand the work pace, and I have worked hands-on with these types of experiences before.
Well, it seems like you're doing a lot, and it seems like you have quite the experience. So my next question for you is, what are your strengths and weaknesses?
I would say that my strengths are definitely my dependability and my ability to adapt in a high pressure situation. I do work very well under pressure, so I feel like those really help me out in a job like this. My weaknesses would be I do sometimes have a hard time taking criticism. However, not to the point of where I cannot take criticism. Just sometimes I might take it a little too harshly, take it a little too far to heart, but I am working through that.
Well, I'm glad that you're being very honest with that, because not a lot of people can do that. And obviously everyone has their strengths and weaknesses, so as long as we're working through them. What do you view as your most valuable skills and attributes?
My most valuable skill and attributes. I would say my most valuable skill would be my ability to adapt under pressure. I've worked a lot of jobs previously. A lot of them have been high pressure situations where things change very quickly, people get heated very quickly, and I have learned to be able to work well and adapt to the situations, the circumstances of that specific situation.
Okay, sounds good. What do you want to get out of your professional life?
I would really, my end goal career, I would really like to become a veterinary professor at a large animal vet hospital. Not a large animal vet hospital, a large animal veterinary school. I would really like to become either an equine specific professor working in pathology or immunology, or even a bovine. I have a real passion for large animal, so I really hope to see myself there in my future career.
How do you think sorry.
You're good.
Pick something.
Yes, so I did go ahead and bring a copy here, so that way you can look it over.
Okay. So okay, so I see that you were a duchess. Can you tell me a little bit more about what you did there and how you contributed to that company in specific?
Yeah, so at Duchess, this was quite a few years ago. It was one of the very first jobs that I ever worked. I worked as one of the head cashiers, so I handled all the money. I was usually the opener, so I was the person in charge of coming in the mornings, getting the facility started, opening the cash registers, managing how much money went in each drawer, where each money was going. And then throughout the day, my job would involve stocking the shelves, collecting inventory, managing the inventory as well. I would also act as one of the assistant managers, and I would help run the facilities and keep track of people's schedules, who was there, who wasn't supposed to be there, and as well as provide assistance creating schedules for later weeks.
How can you help our team or work group?
Yeah, so I feel like my time working as an assistant manager in my previous job experiences has given me a good insight on that, and if the position ever calls for it, I can do well managing others and the situations going on. I can also help in high pressure situations to keep things under control, direct others, but I also work well as the person being directed. I can take directions very easy, and I can listen very well.
Okay. Yeah, that was one of my next questions. How do you respond to challenges, and what do you do to cope with them?
Yeah, so I respond to challenges very well. I love to be challenged in my day-to-day life. That's what excites me in a career. So I love to take on a challenge, whether that's from other people or in the day-to-day experience of the job itself. I love to tackle them head-on, and yeah.
Because I know working with as a barn staff can be very challenging within itself. So what was one of the things that you would do back then to maintain that peace within yourself as you did several different tasks and challenges?
Yeah, so a lot of the times with challenges like that from that job, what I did to maintain my peace within myself and cope with those challenges was I actually maintained a very friendly atmosphere with my coworkers, with my fellow barn staff, with my the vet techs, with the vets as well. I had a very friendly relationship with all of them, and so that helped me to manage the stress of the challenges and the job, and make everything easier for us.
I know that you mentioned that you like to create a happy environment within your colleagues or your co-workers, but then again we have to think a little bit more realistically. Some people are not easy to deal with or work with.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you handle that?
A lot of the times when I come across a more difficult person, I try to work things out one-on-one. A lot of times I find that it's easier to sit down with somebody and explain the problem before I go to another level person. It tends to keep things more calm and people don't resent each other for it. However, if that does not solve the issue, I will typically go to a manager or an upper level position, explain what's going on, try and get their insight on what should be done. And if it's not something that I can handle myself, pass it off to them, or take their advice and apply it and see if that helps the situation.
Okay, so I know that could be like an issue at times when you're working with someone who can be difficult or have different opinions than your own. So I wanted to ask, what recent problems have you overcome on your own?
Some recent problems that I've overcome on my own would be like the weakness that I mentioned earlier. I do have a hard time taking criticism. That's been one of the things that I've been working on and I have seen success in. Before, it was really hard for me to take criticism of any kind and be able to successfully and effectively apply that. And I found that now, whether sometimes I do still have a hard time accepting that criticism, I am now able to see myself applying it, thinking about it, and being able to effectively use and better myself with that criticism.
From a scale from a scale of 1 to 10, how much would it restart? From a scale from 1 to 10, how much would you say it affects you working at a company like ours, when you say your problem is criticism and sometimes we could get things wrong, and as a higher level position I have to manage the people and make sure everything is accurate and accordingly to what we have to do here. So can you explain or expand on that?
Yeah, so just to clarify, we're talking about how that might affect my ability to work at this company?
Yeah.
From a scale of 1 to 10, is that what you said?
here.
Okay. All right. So from a scale of 1 to 10, I feel.
Oh my god, I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're good. You're good.
I'm just like, I started getting nervous. I couldn't. Okay, go.
From a scale of 1 to 10, I feel like that might affect me maybe a 3 or a 4. It really doesn't affect my ability to do things at all, especially not in the moment. Sometimes I can just beat myself up about it a little bit later on, maybe after my work shift is over, but it very rarely ever affects my ability to do my job correctly and efficiently.
Okay, well, thank you for coming in. I feel like you gave so much great details and information on exactly who you are and what you do. So I will follow up with you and let you know about the job offer. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was really nice to meet you.
You as well.
Oh, I hated doing that.